Hi Sagittarius, my name is Chanel and I am the resident tarot reader for this YouTube channel, Divine Resolution Tarot, as well as for the Divine Resolution Tarot business that operates in Minnesota. If you'd like to work with me in person, all the information you need to know is in the description box down below. That being said, let's go ahead and get started with your reading. This reading is going to look at the energies of what's coming toward you until the end of June, okay? So this should go until about the 1st of July. Hopefully it will resonate. If it doesn't, this may not be the reading for you. I try very hard, but the energies that come out are what comes out. All right. So that being said, I'm just going to shuffle one more time. And then I always do this little shuffle here just because whatever comes out, I feel like that's what Spirit wants me to know about the situation. And then after that, I take a look at these and then we get to your spread, okay? All right, I think that's it. Bottom of the deck for this shuffle is the King of Swords in the reverse. So just put him over here. And I'm going to lay these out so you can take a look at them. And we'll see what we see together, okay? I don't want to turn that one the wrong way. All right, so you've got the Two of Cups coming out first with the Six of Wands. Knight of Pentacles in the upright with the Justice in the upright. Ace of Swords in the reverse with the Death in the reverse. Hierophant in the reverse. The Hanged Man in the reverse, Four of Wands in the upright, Nine of Wands in the upright, Knight of Swords in the reverse, Seven of Swords in the reverse, okay? So let me just take a look here and see what I see, and then I'll tell you what's going on with what came out. All right, we'll start at the top. So you have the Two of Cups coming out as your very first card, which talks about a union or a partnership. Twos also talk about a decision being made, and with the Cups, it's a decision of an emotional nature, okay? You may have been having some issues with this person. This two could be talking about some sort of reconciliation because we have the Six of Wands coming out next. I'm looking at the Roman numerals up top here, and 5 speaks to conflict, 1 speaks to a new opportunity, okay? 6 as the 5 and the 1 together talk about the calm after a storm, all right? So you might be reuniting with someone and feeling quite victorious about it, okay? We have the Knight of Pentacles coming out next to the Justice. So Knights talk about action, but they also talk about focus, okay? Pentacles talk about anything that gives you stability or even comfort. So this could be your home, your job, your family, even your friends, your body, anything that provides you with support or stability, okay? So you're very focused now on doing what's right, apparently, with the Justice here next to it, okay? We have the 10 and the 1 for the 11. So with the Two of Cups and the Justice, this could be a twin flame reading because we also have the 1111 card coming up, okay? I'm just going to say that right off the bat. So whatever this is, it's an opportunity for something new. And it's an opportunity for something that feels right, okay? The Ace is jumping out at me. So maybe after this conflict, there's some clarity here that allows this reconciliation to happen. There's balance again, okay? After that, we have the Ace of Swords in the reverse, which speaks to a lack of clarity. It speaks to idea that maybe you had that you gave up on, okay? It can talk about a missed opportunity. With the death following it in the reverse, it's like, I'm looking at this 13 down here. 3s talk about plans and 10s talk about endings, okay? So perhaps there was something you were planning that ended, but with the death in the reverse, the transformation that death brings isn't happening, okay? So that's really interesting. I'm curious to see what will happen with your spread, because then we have the Hierophant in the reverse along with the Hanged Man. So there's quite a few major arcana cards here coming out, and they're all coming out next to each other. I'm just going to move these 3 over here so that I can take a look at this, because there's something really interesting about these all. I just have to figure out what it is. It's like, this is such a weird vibe. So Hierophant talks about, it can be the card of marriage sometimes, or commitment, but it also talks about very much like doing what you think is right, okay? It depends on if it's in the upright or the reverse, though. In the upright, it talks about doing what's right based on kind of the status quo. Like, what were you always taught was the right thing to do, okay? So if you were taught that a specific religion is the religion, then you grow up to follow that without question, because that's just what you know to be right. And with this 5, it's like you avoid the conflict. Again, with these 11s here, do you see these 2 pillars? That's an 11 too. But so in the upright, it talks about going with what's expected of you, doing what is right, as far as society views it, okay? In the reverse, this is showing that there's an inner conflict here. So what you've always been taught was right, or what you always thought was the right thing to do, with the Hanged Man in the reverse, it's like you've been here in this position, watching, learning, gaining new perspective. Now you're coming out of that energy. So with this in the reverse, you may be questioning something that you always thought was right, okay? The Hanged Man in the reverse. Hanged Man is such an interesting card. It's a very spiritual card. But this position here was reserved for traitors. In Spain, they would hang them upside down by their feet or their foot in front of everyone, so they could come and see that this person was a traitor to their country, okay? So you may have been dealing with some kind of betrayal, or feeling like you've done something to betray someone, and you're coming out of that energy now. But I'm really curious here, because this Ace of Swords speaks to a lack of clarity. And it's a lower energy because it's a minor arcana. But I feel like whatever transformation death is trying to bring, this ace is blocking it, okay? It's like if you gained new perspective and you're questioning conformity or whatever you once believed, you haven't made this transformation yet, okay? Sometimes when cards are reversed, rather than this being a truth that's coming to you externally from the outside source, like a friend or however, it can speak to internal situations, okay? So what I'm feeling like is that with this change that you're going through, you haven't found a way to communicate it to the world, okay? This is just something that's in your mind. You've come to light about something. You now feel differently about what's right and wrong. This transformation isn't happening even though it's in your thoughts, because you haven't figured out how to communicate it to the world. And I think that's because of this Justice card. Okay? I think with this Justice here, you may feel like you will be judged. I'm sorry, I feel my throat closing up. So I just feel like maybe there's things that aren't being said here. You haven't found a way to say the things you want to say. Because think about what justice is, okay? With the scale here, it's like the feather goes on one side and your heart goes on the other. That's what the Egyptians believe, right? And so if your heart isn't lighter than a feather, the sword comes down, right? It looks like you might have a heavy heart, Sagittarius, because what I'm seeing here is the Seven of Swords in the reverse, okay? That's making me think that you feel as though you owe someone an apology. Because when I'm looking at this Four of Wands in the upright, this is a celebration. This is a happy home. But this person here has been shut out. They've been blocked from being able to join this celebration, right? And they're just holding this one wand. This person wants what's over here. They want to be a part of that. But for some reason, they're not allowed to, okay? Now, in this card, this man is holding this one wand. So you're holding on to this opportunity, because aces talk about opportunity. And maybe that's the opportunity that's up here to express yourself, to express what you've learned your new truth is, okay? Eight wands back here. That talks about communication. Okay, so they're not in the air, they're in the ground. Nothing's happening. There's no communication happening. And again, that's what I'm seeing with this. But because the communication isn't happening, imagine if all of these wands flew through the air the way that they do in the card, the Eight of Wands. There would be nothing blocking this man from returning home, right? So because you're holding on to your truth, wands talk about passion, and they talk about self, okay? They also can talk about action, and it doesn't look like there's a whole lot of action being taken here either, because nothing's transforming. You're coming out of this energy of the Hanged Man, but other than that, on the other side of justice is this solid opportunity. If you can get out of this energy of stagnation and have the courage to speak your truth, it looks like you can return to whatever this situation is. Okay? Because once you make it through justice, once you make it through this 11, because 1 and 1 is 2. So that's a decision, and it's a partnership. That's when the stability and the victory come in, okay, to get to this 2 over here. You have to go through this 2 to get to this 2. And if I'm reading them in this direction, once you pass through the justice, you're able to make that solid offer. The 1 is the opportunity. The 5 is the conflict. And I see the conflict down here with the 7 of Swords, okay? Again, with the conflict and the decision. And this person does look very conflicted because he's just stolen all of these swords, right? And if this were in the upright, he wouldn't too much seem to care. But with this coming out last, it's like this is your whole situation. and this is you. So you could make this getaway here. You could leave. You could take your 5 swords and leave the 2 standing in the upright, which is a stalemate situation. You know, it talks about a lot of confusion. 5 of swords, the 5 swords that this man is carrying, speaks to someone who only cares about themselves, and they do whatever they want to do, regardless of how it affects the people around them. So you could leave and do whatever you want to do and leave everyone behind you in confusion. But I don't think that's what you want, even though you've had an opportunity to start sneaking off or walking away from whatever this is, because it seems like quite the burden to have to tell the world this new idea that you have, okay? It may be easier to just walk away. But I don't think that's what you want, because I'm watching how this man is leaving, but your body is turned this way, okay? Here's one more card that we didn't read, which is the Knight of Swords in the reverse. So maybe, just like how this man is feeling very blocked from being able to come to this celebration, if you look at these 2 cards together, it looks like someone is chasing this person away. Okay? Knight of Swords in the reverse speaks to angry communication. It's scattered, and it's not well thought out. It's just very quick. It's not something that people sat and thought about what they were going to say first. It just happened. Okay? So maybe whatever this communication was is why this person here is leaving. That could be you, Sagittarius, but it could also be air energy. I don't usually read signs, but air is Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. All right. I'm not going to go through all the signs with the major arcana, because I feel like if this situation resonates and applies to you, and you're on either end of the spectrum, the person being shut out or the person having the celebration, you will know who you're dealing with, okay? King of Swords at the reverse is the bottom of the deck. So that's feeling very conflicted, okay? Swords are your ideas, their communication. King is the top of his game. He's very stable, right? So there's an energy of not being able to communicate the way that you want to, not being able to communicate the things that you'd like to communicate, and not feeling stable with the ideas that you're having, okay? Maybe you are questioning your judgment or yourself or your surroundings. Let's get into your reading and see what's going on. Someone either is feeling the need to apologize to you, or you are feeling the need to apologize to them. But I feel like it's probably the latter, simply because you've had some sort of epiphany. And that's what I'm seeing. Yeah, there was a missed opportunity with a Queen of Swords. Okay. So, again, that's air. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. 10 of Pentacles. Wow, see? Look at that. King of Swords, 10 of Pentacles. Couldn't make this up if I tried. What I was going to say is that the 10 of Pentacles, when it's in the reverse, talks about something that had all of the ability to be. Oh my goodness. Now we have the 5 of Swords with the 10 of Pentacles. And that's what I'm saying, that 5 of Sword energy, where you will do whatever, regardless of how people feel. And so whatever the behavior that happened is what made something that could have been a very solid commitment, it made it pause, okay? Because with this 10 of Pentacles in the reverse, oftentimes that can signify feeling the need to have to try again. Like you've missed an opportunity and you'd like to try again, okay? Oh, come on, I'm supposed to look at these because they're not letting me shuffle. So we went from the 10 to the 9, 10 in the upright, 9 in the upright, okay? So single and alone, commitment, all right? There's a progression here. Whatever has happened, you're by yourself, but there is a commitment that could happen if this king that came out in the reverse can put himself in the upright, because it looks like he missed an opportunity with the Queen of Swords in the upright, okay? And I think that the way to start doing that is by speaking your truth and speaking on this epiphany that you had when you were in the Hangman energy. All right, let me pull these cards and we will see what we see. Okay. And we're getting a lot of the same ones, but a couple of different ones. All right, bottom of the deck, 2 of Pentacles in the reverse. Someone is making a decision, okay? And when I see this 2 of Pentacles, after I see the Hierophant in the reverse, when you are believing things, oh, death again, when you're believing things that aren't in alignment with you, okay? It's like you're always doing this balancing act. You're always trying to keep both ideas in your mind, like, well, my head tells me this is right, my heart tells me this is right, my mom tells me this is right, my mind tells me this is right. You know, you're always doing this juggling. In the reverse, this stops. You make a decision about which one of these pentacles is the most important to you, and you focus on it. Because when things are in the reverse, you go back to the energy of the card before the card that's in the reverse. So with this 2 of Pentacles in the reverse, one of these is being put down so that you can focus on one, okay? Because you're not going to be able to juggle both ideas. You're not going to keep juggling both people or both jobs or whatever this is pertaining to, okay? So 2 of Pentacles in the reverse is at the bottom of the deck. The situation is the Page of Pentacles, which is very fitting because that's almost the Ace of Pentacles, which actually came out too. That's you dropping one of your pentacles. It's time to make the choice. It's time to choose which one is in alignment with you and which one you want, what's most important to you. So the situation is the Page of Pentacles, and pages do bring messages because they're messengers, but pages also talk about stability, okay? Pentacles talk about stability. Too many P's going on here. Pages talk about risk, okay? And I say this because the page is the child of the court. So giving a page something as important as a pentacle or something as dangerous as a sword is a risky business, right? So Page of Pentacles is a situation. Now, you may be very new to only focusing on one particular thing. If you've been in the energy of the 2 of Pentacles, where you're having to always try to balance, maybe it's people's expectations, right? What different people want, how you feel versus what you think you should feel, okay? So pages talk about something new because they're young. It's the first time they've ever done this before. They're the apprentice. This is the apprentice card. So this is the first time that you've been able to really focus on one particular thing. Whatever it is that you've decided through your epiphany is the pentacle to keep versus the pentacle to put down, okay? So for your situation, you're probably feeling a little bit of relief. You're feeling grounded, okay? Because you're not dancing anymore. You're not dancing to juggle these. You've put one of them down. So you can stand firmly with both feet on the ground. And you can have time to enjoy whatever this pentacle is, okay? We've got the green and the brown, which talk about being grounded. Red talks about passion. So you're feeling a lot of passion towards whatever this opportunity or this situation is that you're now looking at so lovingly, okay? King of Wands in the reverse is what the situation looks like to you, okay? King of Wands in the reverse is an interesting guy. And maybe that's what that Seven of Swords looks like. When it came out, it was talking about this energy. Now, this is your energy, Sagittarius, because you're fire, and so is the King of Wands. When he's in the reverse, this person not only doesn't know what they want, because Wands talk about passion, and they talk about self. This person also isn't making the best decisions, because Wands also talk about action, okay? So when this King of Wands is in the reverse, he can be led astray by his passion, and he can act on it without thinking. So what it looks like to you is perhaps you made a bad choice, or perhaps you're realizing the behavior of the two, okay? Maybe these were two people that you cared for. And now it looks like you may have gotten yourself into some hot water with this King of Wands. Because what I'm saying now, what it feels like, if you look at how these are looking, we have the Nine of Wands again showing up. Now in the reverse, these wands should be taking flight, right? And the communication should be happening and this person should be unblocked. But this is your energy and you're on the other side of the fence. If this were in, well, I guess you'd be on the other side of the fence no matter what you do. I guess the only difference is that the person that's been blocked isn't looking at you. Because if this were in the upright, they still might be blocked, but they'd be looking at you. Nines talk about integration. And this card is very much a card of integration. He hasn't been integrated into the party, into the circle, into life. He's behind the wall, right? So what it feels like to you is if you dropped this pentacle and made a choice, maybe that other pentacle or person is no longer paying attention to you. It could also feel like, I'm just looking here because this is so interesting. It's like if you were in the upright, Sagittarius, and you were in your power, you would be looking at your new opportunity, right? But you're in the reverse, so it's almost like you're looking at the person that got shut out. Maybe this pentacle isn't what you thought it would be. We'll pull some clarifiers. What you'll want to do is this card here. You have the Four of Wands in the reverse. So it's interesting because most people would want to have it in the upright, right? What you want to do is have it in the reverse. So whatever this is that you thought was stability, you want out. It's not working the way you thought that it was, okay? Now you want to go back to the Three of Wands. All right. And that talks about making plans. So it looks like you'd like to make a new plan, because with the way I'm reading the numbers here, you have the 5 coming first and the 1. So it talks about conflict, and then it talks about a new opportunity. So it could have been, and I'm just going to say it because that's what I see, is that the situation is you're finding what's important to you, because you could have went off and done something else, and now you could be feeling quite unhappy with your situation. Maybe it feels like, you're coming out of conflict and you're able to communicate more. But at the same time, if this is in the reverse, this man should be coming out of this energy and he should be able to go home. So this should be in the upright, and it's not. So let's pull some clarifiers so that we can, I was going to say, geez, give me one for the Pentacles. Out came the Queen of Swords with the 7 of Pentacles in the reverse. Okay, so Queen of Swords cuts people out. And that's kind of what I'm seeing with this here. But you could also be thinking about an air sign, okay? Or you could be waiting for some kind of communication, or you could be dating someone older than you. With the 7 of the Pentacles coming out in the reverse, it's showing me that something that you invested time into isn't working out, okay? You've put a lot of work and a lot of effort into something. You've planted the seeds. It's not growing. You've waited. You're in a partnership with the 2. With the 5, it's conflict. Okay? I'm not seeing anything outside of this Knight of Wands that would make me think that there's more people involved. I don't see anything like that. But his energy, he's a promiscuous man, okay? So maybe you're coming to the tail end of a situation, and now you've made a choice and you're rethinking it. Let's find out. Let me get a clarifier for what it looks like to you. All right. We have the 5 of Pentacles in the reverse, the King of Cups, and the Page of Swords, clarifying the King of Wands. So what I'm seeing here, King of Cups, he wants to offer his cup to this page. Page might chop his hand off, okay? 5 of Pentacles in the upright talks about trying to come back, okay? And that's what I'm feeling like, is that whoever this person is, you're not in your upright because you didn't follow your passion. Not in the sense that promiscuous passion, but true joy. You're not in alignment with yourself, okay? And so now you're unhappy and thinking about giving an offer to someone and coming back. And that's what I was saying. It looks like there's somebody that's been blocked. And then it looks like wherever you are, you don't want to go home. All right, give me a card for the 9 of Wands in the reverse, please. Card for the 9 of Wands in the reverse, please. 3 of Cups. Clarified by the 8 of Cups. Okay. So this 9 of Wands guy, he might be waiting or thinking about some sort of reunion, some kind of get-together. Maybe coming out of this energy of being blocked and trying to make plans. These bells here are ringing, So maybe that's the communication when these wands fly in the Eight of Wands. Somebody's going to hear something, or maybe you're just tired of waiting to hear something. Because we have the Eight of Cups, which is moving on, okay? And being a little bit sad about it. But you're coming out of conflict and making a new plan. Now, if these are two different energies, and this is someone that's been blocked by you, communication, if it doesn't come in, this person's moving, okay? Moving forward. If this is you, this is representative of you, you could be thinking about a reconciliation, but also thinking about moving on, okay? So maybe you're moving on from one thing and moving on to something else. Maybe in your emotions, you've moved on from something and you're ready to move to something else. Let's see. Why am I still shuffling? I guess I'm going to pull a clarifier for Wands. Another one. Oh, wow. So, Eight of Cups at the bottom of the deck. We're clarifying the Four of Wands in the reverse. We have the Four of Cups in the reverse. Okay? So coming out of that energy of nothing works out, everything sucks, my life is a drag, right? But with it being in the reverse, the Three of Cups energy talks about that reconciliation again, right? Hierophant again in the reverse talks about a lack of commitment. So whatever the situation is, you're not committed to it, okay? And you're still thinking about a reconciliation somewhere else because in your emotions, you've moved on, all right? The reality that Spirit wants you to know, the reason why you're feeling this way, the reason why you're having epiphanies, the reason why you're thinking about any of these things is because Spirit is trying to give you a stable opportunity, okay? This Ace of Pentacles is like the winning lottery ticket. This is the best to get out of all of the aces in my personal opinion because it's stable, okay? It's something that you can rely on. It's something that you can trust, okay? Let's pull a clarifier for that. And maybe that's what it is, Maybe it's kind of out with the old and with the new. Who knows? We've got Knight of Cups in the reverse. We've got Five of Swords in the upright. Clarified by the Ace of Pentacles in the reverse. I love when cards clarify one another in the upright and the reverse. So, Knight of Cups talks about taking away your love, okay? Knight of Cups also is very much an energy of someone who falls in love with everyone and then falls out of love with everyone just as quickly. Five of Swords is that energy that I talked about of just doing whatever to whomever. Look at this guy. He's been stabbed all the way through, right? This is conflict. This is kind of causing conflict wherever you go because you just, as long as it benefits you, okay? And maybe in your mind, if you've been stuck in a situation where you've been unhappy, where you feel like life has been unkind to you, maybe it doesn't faze you as much. But I don't get that vibe, I don't feel that way about you in this reading. I'm not getting cards that are showing me anything that makes me feel like you just are out to hurt people. Not at all. Ace of Pentacles being clarified by Ace of Pentacles in the reverse. You're going to have to give up something to get something. And that's very much what this is an energy of, okay? Because it's like maybe through you making a decision with this 5, because the Hierophant's also a 5, okay? Maybe with you making a decision to just do something completely out of your character. Knight of Cups, maybe that's that promiscuity, or maybe that's just you looking outside of a home situation that you don't want to be in. The universe has brought you an opportunity for stability, okay? So if something did happen with this this King of Wands, excuse me, I wouldn't beat myself up about it because it looks like it was divinely orchestrated, okay? Spirit wants you to know that through whatever this was, it actually was an opportunity that was meant for you, and that you're going to have to release something that's not going to ever manifest into stability to gain stability, okay? And that's what I was saying. Even though this 5 of Swords is coming up, I don't feel like you're a bad person that just like goes off and tries to hurt people. You know what I mean? Not at all. I'm not getting that vibe. So let me see here. Energies that can help you. You got the 4 of Swords in the upright. 4 of Swords is a really interesting card, and I'm not really going to go into the history of it right now because this video is getting kind of long. But it talks about gratitude, okay? It talks about healing and taking time out. Sometimes this can be a card of sobriety, okay? Which makes sense because if you had come out as the King of Swords in the reverse, it may help you to clear your mind, okay? To have sobriety of mind. Seven, got the Chariot, got the Tower in the reverse, okay? So, something that could help you. With this card, I noticed how he's laying on this sword here. This is the one sword, it's like his truth. And above him is the 3 swords waiting to fall, right? So, and to me, it's kind of like this guy is waiting to go back into battle. He's waiting to say that one thing that's going to make these swords stab him. That's kind of what I'm feeling like. How is that a helpful energy? Okay, well, first we should recognize this energy. Is this how you're feeling at home? That if you're silent, you're not going to have these swords drop. If you hide your truth, you'll be spared another day, right? Because the 1, well, that's opportunity. The 5 is conflict. Okay, the 4 is stability. But this is not stability, right? This is something you don't want to go home to for some reason, whatever reason. How is this a helpful energy? Because it's going to get you to move, okay? Remember, got to get rid of something to get something better. All right? So being in this energy of feeling like conflict could happen anytime, you have to be on guard. Home kind of sucks. Don't really want to go back, right? That's the universe trying to get you to move, okay? Clarified by the Tower. Looking at the Roman numerals, we have the 1, which was the opportunity, the 5, which was the conflict, the 10, which is the ending, okay? Tower's in the reverse. I'm just taking a look at it. These pictures are so weird. Whatever you threw away, whatever this pentacle was, okay, it doesn't look like it's gone with this Tower in the reverse. You just have to get out of your head. 9 of Swords, okay? So rather than be regretful, ride your bike to find it, okay? What you don't know that you should consider is the King of Pentacles in the reverse, okay? Think about that. And I'm going to tell you why. He was juggling the pentacles, right? He dropped one. Turn him in the reverse. Now he has one pentacle. And this pentacle is great, but it's only got the energy of the page, okay? That's the child, the pentacle being held by someone who is learning how to do what they're doing. So it's not a stable energy in the sense that this King of Pentacles has been doing this a lot longer than this page, right? Something to consider, Sagittarius, is that you dropped your pentacles, you chose one, you chose the page instead of the king. You gave up on something that, had you held on to it, it would have been stable and solid, okay? That opportunity. But you let it go and went with the page. Guess you had to pick one, right? Let's pull some clarifiers for the Page of Pentacles. It's hard to ever really know what to do in life, and you don't know until you know, right? Until you get there. I don't know that that was the one. This is the one. High Priestess in the reverse, clarified by the Empress in the reverse. Okay, so something to consider. When you chose the pentacle you chose, were you trusting your intuition? Okay, were you going with that Hierophant in the reverse that we talked about? Instead of doing what people expect of you, were you doing what you believed in? Okay. Empress in the reverse. Well, when an energy is in the reverse, plans don't go the way they're supposed to. You go back to the card before it, right? Well, the card before it is right here, and it's also in reverse. The card before the 2 in the major arcana is the Magician. So now it's time for you to go back to square one. Not square one, because that would be the Fool, okay? You've already had the opportunity. You've met this person, you let them go. But now it's time to go to the Magician's energy and to start using the tools you have to create the life that you want, okay? That is something to consider. Something that will hurt you, Sagittarius, is the 8 of Cups in the reverse. So what will hurt you is if you don't leave. In the upright, the situation is emotionally unfulfilling, okay? In the reverse, you realize that the situation is emotionally unfulfilling. The home you don't want to go home to, okay? What will hurt you is if you don't leave. Because if you don't leave, look at this. How will you ever walk towards this pentacle? Right? You won't. You will just stay where you are, because 8s talk about cycles. So you'll keep doing the same thing over and over if you don't venture out to find what you lost. And even with this in the reverse, you know, it's just you're missing something. If you don't realize what you're missing and you stay where you are, you're never going to find what you're missing, okay? Let's pull a clarifier for that. Oh, geez, this is it. We have the Sun and the 6 of Pentacles and the 9 of Cups, okay? So, oh, look at that. With the King of Wands in the reverse. Remember how we talked about, or in the upright, sorry. Remember how we talked about you being in the reverse because you weren't in alignment with what you wanted or yourself, right? This is it. This is how you get into alignment with yourself. You gotta make the choice to walk away from what no longer serves you. It'll put your energy in the upright. 9 of Cups talks about getting a wish, okay? But if you see, these 2 cups are so prevalent right here, just like the 2 of Cups that came out for you, okay? Remember in the very beginning when we were shuffling? These 2 cups. 9s talk about integration, so you'll be able to integrate the things that you want into your life. 6 of Pentacles talk about reciprocity. We've got the 5 for the conflict and the 1 for the opportunity. So this is you coming out of conflict to a new opportunity. And then finally we have the Sun. Okay, so the Sun is the best card that you can get in the tarot. It's one of the most positive cards saying that everything will be okay. All right, that was a pretty cool reading. I'm going to grab you a couple of oracle cards. I'm sorry that I sound so tired, but it's about 6 o'clock in the morning and I haven't been to bed yet. My neighbors were throwing a big party, so I couldn't make any videos. I was stuck kind of waiting around. All right, let me grab you some oracle cards. We'll take 2 unless more come out. Come on. These guys are crazy right now. I don't know what's going on with my cards today. It's like they're just not cooperating. They don't want to work with me. Probably we're tired, both of us. Dance, relaxation. Well, with the Swan here, that's that transformation that you've been going through. And the butterfly too. You know, how you were trying to figure out what to do with that energy of the Hanged Man and the death and the justice. Step into the light. Share your gifts and talents with the world. I think it's really hard when you're living a life that you're unhappy with. You know, because you're not in alignment with yourself and you're not able to do the things that you're put on this earth to do when you're miserable, okay? So it's time to step into the sun. You know, come out of that dark space of being, you know, shut out or feeling badly or feeling unhappy. You know, it's time for a new phase in your life. You have relaxation. Allow yourself to be lazy. It's okay to do nothing. You know, that is very much the energy of the 4 of Swords that came out for you when it was talking about what will help you. This guy is doing a whole lot of nothing. And maybe that would help you to just relax, just think, silence your mind, meditate, okay? All right, Sagittarius, that is your reading for the end of June. I hope that that gave you some clarity. I feel like it was all right. Okay, so that being said, if you want to work with me, all the information is in the description box below. If this reading resonated with you, go ahead and click like or subscribe or leave me a comment because I'm super curious to know what's going on. This was an interesting reading. Okay, I'm going to get some sleep. I'll see you tomorrow, YouTube. Good night, Sagittarius. Take care of yourself. Bye.